Great. Welcome, everybody. Oh, you want me to? Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to a little happy hour here. Yours truly, Benack the Third. The special guest of my friend here, Emmet Cohen, should be no stranger to some of you. And for all of the concerned parties, Emmet and I are neighbors here in Harlem and New York City. We're fortunate to live right down the street, as is the case with Emmet's trio that have also been playing together here for weeks. So we don't take that for granted. We're, for our sake, for our sanity's sake, we're very happy that we're able to still make music together and bring it to you in Iowa. So from Harlem to Iowa, here we are.
That's right. I had a tremendous time playing on this Facebook page, interacting with all of you in Iowa last week, and we've decided to expand and bring on board one of the great trumpeters of our generation, someone who is an original voice in jazz in New York City, someone who's enthusiastic about the music, someone who comes from 3 generations of jazz musicians in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and a brother to me for the last 12 years, something like that. We met about 12 years ago in the Grammy Jazz Ensemble, which no longer exists. And we have been playing together and traveling and developing music and all that stuff since then. So we have a nice program selected for you today. Did we select it?
Yeah. We've been selecting our program for 12 years. I think we've got it whittled down to a bit of a science by now.
Cool. We're going to play some music for you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be monitoring some of the comments here if anyone wants to write to us and tell us what to play and what not to play.
Let us know how the sound is too. If you need something as louder or softer, you guys are going to be our sound technicians out there. So let us know how the balance is. We just became professional sound engineers about a month ago when everyone started live streaming from their home, and Emmet has gotten all of these microphones set up, and we've had to become our own audio techs on the fly here. So hopefully you can hear us.
Cool. Let's play.
What are we doing there? Let's check the comments. Everybody hearing us okay? I know we might be cutting in and out a little bit periodically on the video, but hopefully you can hear us all right. We're good, okay. All right, we're just going to keep it going with more music. That was 3 o'clock in the morning, a song that was recorded by the great Dexter Gordon, among others, a song that Emmet actually recorded on his first album, In the Element, and it featured one of our mutual mentors, the great Greg Gisbert.
God, 10 years ago?
That's crazy,
10-year
man.
anniversary.
It still holds up. It still sounds great.
It's, might as well be spring.
Cool. It might as well be spring, and we're just about reaching that time of the year. It's for those of you that may be tuned in right on the dot, every night at New York City at 7 o'clock, everyone opens up their windows. People, bang pots and pans. You hear car horns. Everybody cheers for all of our essential workers, our health workers, everyone at the groceries, our delivery people. And it's really a nice moment. And for many New Yorkers, it's the only moment they have where they get outside on a given day and get some fresh air. And it seems a cruel twist of fate that we've had some beautiful days here in New York the past few weeks as it has blossomed into spring. And so many of us are stuck inside. But for those of us that do venture outside, the World Health Organization and the CDC have recently changed their tune. And it went from the beginning, they said, nobody wear a mask unless you're sick, you're going to spread it, to now, they say, everybody put a mask on. So back a month ago, it seems like ages ago, when the quarantine started, I put out a little one-man band, a little video of a song based off of Charles Strauss's Put on a Happy Face. I was trying to put some smiles on everybody's faces during these tough times. So we're going to do for you our take on that, entitled Put a Mask on Your Face.
And Benny has a special mask with a cutout for the trumpet that goes right inside.
I didn't bring it.
He's able to play the trumpet while he's wearing his mask. It's very effective.
I disinfected beforehand, of course. Put some. What's that? Oh, I said I'd make sure to disinfect it first. I actually just pour Clorox right down the bell of my trumpet, and it actually clears everything up. So don't try that at home, folks. Don't try that at home. The key of F. Corona's gonna clear up. Put a mask on your face. Brush off that cough and cheer up. But please don't leave your place. Don't be a tough guy and still go outside. Can you believe the nerve? Above all else, self-quarantine, and we'll flatten that curve. Pick out your favorite Hulu. FaceTime your friends and foes. Learn a few brand new card tricks, but don't touch your face or nose. Don't spread corona all over the place. Just put a mask on your happy face. Corona's gonna clear up. Put a mask on your face. Brush off that cough and cheer up. But please don't leave your place. Don't be a tough guy and still go outside. Ha! Can you believe the nerve? Above all else, self-quarantining will flatten that curve. Pick out your favorite Netflix, FaceTime your friends and foes. Learn a few brand new card tricks. Don't touch your face or nose. Just don't spread corona over the place. Just put a mask on, you're happy. Think of your nan and pappy. Put a mask on your happy face. Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Little PSA for everyone.
That's Benny Benack III on the contrafact of lyrics. Those are pretty good, Benny. That's a talented writer right there.
lovely, lovely old ditty entitled Memories of You. And contrary to what Emmet and I would lead you to believe at the beginning of the set, we don't necessarily map out the entire thing. We have some songs we're kicking around in our heads, but that's one I don't know if we've ever played together. Oh, I was just saying, sorry everyone. It was Memories of You, a beautiful old tune. And actually, my grandfather, Emmet mentioned I come from a few generations. My grandfather was a jazz trumpeter as well in Pittsburgh, really coming out of the Harry James, Louis Armstrong, Al Hirt kind of Dixieland, traditional New Orleans style jazz. And that was a ballad he always played. And I don't know that Emmet and I have played that together officially, so. Okay, we're going to play something beboppy minor. As Emmet said, let's do something minor and beboppy. So we did the most logical thing, which was the great composition made famous by Dizzy Gillespie, entitled Bebop. And, we've had the misfortune, I guess, of losing so many jazz luminaries and legends that have been taken from us during the time of not really just Corona, but it seems even the couple months preceding that, we lost a number of jazz musicians and legends and people that we have all looked up to, and especially in the case of Emmet, some people that he's been able to work with. Emmet is, of course, very passionate about bridging the generations in jazz and working with some of these masters. And, while we have lost so many of them and they remain in our hearts and our minds, there are still others that were gone before that we honor perpetually. And it is Joe Henderson's birthday today, the great tenor saxophonist. So maybe we will do something for you now that he played. Not necessarily one of his songs. We could do that. I guess that's a little broad to say. We'll do something he played.
We do one of his songs.
Yeah, or he also did that great Billy Strayhorn album with Wynton. Yeah, we could do that one. That's a blues. For Joe Henderson. Happy birthday, Joe.
Which one do you want to do? The Strayhorn?
No, we can do Isotope.
Okay.
That's cool.
Good. Take it away. Take it away, Maestro.
Joe Henderson, the great Joe Henderson. Isotope, great blues that he wrote. And maybe now we will, in honor of our Harlem neighborhood, as I mentioned to you before, it's starting to be springtime here in New York, and we definitely feel everyone together in the neighborhood at 7 o'clock when those windows open and everybody starts clanging on those pots and pans. And as Emmet mentioned at the beginning of the evening, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the actual neighborhood, was filmed in Pittsburgh. As a matter of fact, my grandfather, as we mentioned before, the trumpeter, is featured on an episode of the show. Fred Rogers goes to the music shop, gets a little trumpet lesson from my grandpa, and on my recent album that came out at the end of January, fortunately just before the world turned upside down, I was able to put out the album and celebrate it a little bit. And we recorded the theme song to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So since Harlem is the neighborhood that Emmet and I reside in, we're going to give you a little bit of Mr. Rogers now. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Oh, would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Oh, would you be mine? Oh, could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like Emmet. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with Emmet. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my neighbor? So do do bo 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 whoa bo do bo bo do dee biddy bo 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 do dee dee biddy dee boo dee la da 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 ba ba da da bo ba ba bo ba. I have always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood like Iowa. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please, won't you be my neighbor? how could I ignore the girl next door, the apple of my eye? Each day when I see her looking at me, I always know, oh, how I adore the girl next door, the one who lives just down from me. And I adore her, and how could I ignore the girl next door? I have always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, won't you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Now I get it.
Oh. Yeah, no, you're good because you were saying.
Well, yeah, that was a bit of a mashup for you, and it did not occur to me until we just finished the song why those two songs go together so well. And
It looks like it just cut out. Can you just repeat?
oh, are we still here, everyone? Just saying, Emmet very cleverly mixed together those last two numbers, the Mr. Rogers theme song, Won't You Be My Neighbor, mixed with the boy or girl next door. So very cleverly, those two tunes go together quite well. And as I mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, I feel very fortunate to be practically next door to Emmet here. And, it's a time where many musicians have been forced into isolation, and we don't really get the opportunity to play together too much. And, I did one other show with Emmet, now it was, almost 3 weeks ago, and that was the last time I played with another musician. And, we think how fortunate it is for Emmet and his trio that Kyle Poole lives halfway between me and Emmet. Russell Hall's just up the hill, and, we've all kind of been co-quarantining together somewhat and seeing each other on occasion and, of course, taking all precautions, but you just can't replace the feeling that you get playing not only with other musicians, but playing for people, because that's really why we do this, for all of you. So it's wonderful to have an audience, and your reputation precedes you. Emmet told me nothing but wonderful things about everyone last week, and I talked to a friend of mine on Facebook, a wonderful pianist and singer, Max Wellman, who is from the area and runs one of the great clubs that you guys have in your great state. And we were saying to him, man, I hope we can do this in person soon. I hope, under normal circumstances, I barely get to see Emmet because he is all around the world all of the time with his band, and I'm off doing my own thing too. So hopefully we can see all of you face to face pretty soon. But in the meantime, it's not the worst thing in the world to be able to play together for all of you. So I just wanted to thank all of you for inviting me in, and for Emmet for having me back here to join him. And, we have another few minutes. We might be able to give you a little bit more here for the road.
Yeah, thanks, Benny. Like he said, it's always there's always a silver lining in the bad news, or in the tragedies, or opening of one door. And the fact that we get to be here and play together and connect with the people of Iowa, that's lovely. So he said something. Okay. So we love being here with you, as all the old crooners say, and we just want to wish you health and positivity. I know I like to say that a lot, but that's the number one thing in addition to the virus. That's the other virus, is negativity and the loss of hope. So we just want to make sure that you all can find a piece of yourself that can be grateful for what you do have, a piece of yourself that can be outward with giving to someone who may have less, who may be in a worse situation, and understanding that everybody in the world is in the same boat. And I think that's something that I always tell myself when the darkness starts to come, especially these days, is that there's people in all countries that are dealing with stuff harder, equal to, worse than what we're going through. And it's very humbling, and we're grateful to be able to have these tools to connect and to shrink the world one live stream at a time. So for all of you who don't know, I do a live stream here, live from Emmet's, every Monday night. And that starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I know it's 6:30 for you. And
happy hour.
It's happy hour again. And we'd love to see you there. We have a mailing list on emmetcohen.com. There's also one on bennybenackjazz.com. It's a good way to stay in touch. And hopefully I'll be there in August with the great Benny Golson, your namesake.
Wow.
Your namesake, Benny Golson. We've been planning to come. We planned to come in January, and a snowstorm wiped us out. And then we plan to come this month, and I think it was supposed to be next week, but unfortunately that didn't happen. And so we're planning for August, so we're praying for the best, and we're hoping that everything works out. But in the meantime, we're just going to spread love and play some music. So we appreciate you being with us here. Welcome to my apartment. You guys are welcome here anytime, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Right, Benny?
Okay. We wish you health. We wish you wealth. More than that, we wish you love. Sure. And now, no more leading with our chins. This is where our story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye, let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, I wish you bluebirds in the spring, and then a song for you to sing, and then a kiss, and more than this, I wish you love. And in July, a lemonade to cool you in some livy glade. I wish you health and more than wealth. I wish you love. My my aching heart, and I agree that you and I can never be. So with my best, my very best, oh, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm and a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. I wish you shelter from the storm and a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. All the angels in the heavens above. Oh, you know, I wish you love.
Thank you all so much for being a part of this.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, we appreciate you. I'm reading some of the comments here. You guys are so lovely for tuning in with us. That was I Wish You Love, a classic of our staple jazz club up here in Harlem. It's called Smoke Jazz Club. And oftentimes that's the last tune of the night. And one of our favorite guys, Tommy Maxwell, who worked there for 25 years, he sings it with us. And so that's a tune that we hold dear to our heart and a sense of community. People say, keep playing, please. Should we give them one encore?
All right.
I see a lot of hearts and things flying around here. Maybe we should play one little more. Yeah?
We're happy to do it. We're happy to do it. You guys, you've been a lovely crowd. You've been a lovely audience.
You really have. Thank you so much.
You could hear a pin drop in the room the whole time. You guys were we had your full attention.
Yeah, a few ambulances and a pin. And if any of you want to stay in touch closer, we have a new exclusive subscriber program that's a good way to support what it is that we do day in and day out, make videos, content, and all that kind of stuff. And everyone gets a vinyl record should be coming pretty soon. And so you can find that on the website. That's emmetcohen.com. Don't forget about BennyBenackJazz.com. And the links are up there. And don't forget about Civic Music Association. They're doing an awesome job supporting the music, bringing the community together. This is a really imperative time for performing arts centers, for people that have the means and organizations that have the means to support, to do so. And they've been so lovely. They had me last week, and this week we put on a different show. And so it's been great to get to know all of you, through the internet. I'm looking on here. It's wonderful to spend the night with you, Kate Reed. Yeah, this is really cool. So appreciate you. Thanks, Anderson. Thanks, Christian Bain. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Gwen George. Thanks, David Alexander. We'll do an encore for you. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Barb. You guys are lovely. We got a request for some Harlem. Take the A Train.
Okay.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Here we go. We're going to leave you with some Take the A Train. Thank you all so much. As Duke would say, we love you madly. Yeah. Take the A Train. That's Billy's tune, though. Billy Strayhorn. Pittsburgh's own, just like Benny. We love you. Stay in touch. Keep supporting live musicians, live streaming musicians. Go out and hear live streaming music. In your dreams and your streams, Benny says. Thank you all. Hey, thank you so much on behalf of Benack the Third.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Emmet. Thanks,
And
everyone.
yours truly, Emmet Cohen. Let me see what you guys are saying, just in case there's anything important. Third time in 7 days. Thank you. I get to see you all so much more than I usually do. This is pretty cool. Thank you to Peter Stevenson for putting this whole thing together and checking the sound and sending the emails and all that great stuff. It's been a real pleasure to work with you over the last couple of weeks, and I can't wait to be there in August. So that'll be my first time in Iowa. Have you been to Iowa?
Yeah, not to perform. I've
Just on vacation?
Well, when I was younger, making a little family trip through the Midwest.
Yeah, from Pittsburgh to Iowa. It's not too bad, right? Anyway, stay in touch with us. We're on Facebook and Instagram and all the cool stuff. It will be lovely to see you again soon. And until then, be safe. Take care of yourself. Do something nice for someone. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. And keep supporting live jazz and loving the music. It'll get you through any kind of tough time you have. And that's something that we've always known to be true ever since the turn of the 20th century. So, we love you. We thank you. And we'll see you soon.
Good night,
Stay in
everyone.
touch with us.
Thanks again. Good night.